Hi everybody and welcome back to another videos on the tropics here. We're still tracking tropical storm Josephine and Kyle, but we could also very soon be seeing not only Laura, not only Marco, but also Nana, I believe it's called, in the next coming days or even in the next week or so. So a lot of activity. It's really starting to pick up this mid to late August here. So lots of activity, and we could be seeing Omar by before September, so it's really starting to pick up. Right before, let's go over a little really quickly what's going on in the world. Kyle and Josephine holding on to its strength, Kyle being 50 mile per hour, expected to become post-tropical. I think it's already post-tropical, but that's that. And then Central Josephine continues to pass right north of the Leeward Islands, so that's that. Eastern Pacific, Tropical Depression 10 holds on to its tropical status, but not much expected from there. We do have an 80% chance and a 90% chance. Both of them could form into systems later on in the next 2 to 5 days. So we'll see if any of them do form. And then we do have also a 60% chance for Honei to form in the Hawaii and the Central Pacific. But let's have a look at really at what we could very soon be seeing as our next tropical cyclones. We've already looked a lot of Josephine and Cal, and really they're not going to be doing much. So I want to start to take a look at our future tropical systems. Now, first off, here's what could be a system here. It's not really defined yet, but this area here is likely to move off the coast and become tropical storm Laura there. I have a little bit more of a look on that, but I'm just going to go over everywhere. This enormous tropical wave emerging off the coast is likely to become Marco. And then one of those waves as it moves in the Caribbean is likely to become Nana. Or maybe Marco forms before and Nana forms after. But those three areas are likely to become Laura, Marco, and Nana. So very interesting. Now, this tropical wave here, very organized, looking very nice. It's looking as good as Josephine here. By the way, here's Kyle up there, and you can really see it's kind of looking post-tropical at this point. And this is this area that could very form into Laura as well. So lots to talk about with this season. Now, couple models, bring this wave a little bit like this right north, and then bring it a little bit like this. Couple models bring the other thing here somewhere. It could be this wave here. Could be we'll just say it forms over here. It brings it like this. This is the CMC model. And then this one is also mostly brought like that. Of course, this one will go here, and this system will go over here. So look at all of these. It looks like the Florida could get impacted pretty majorly very soon. So we'll see again how that does end up playing out. But let's have a look at the models. So today, really, it's going to be a model video. We're just going to kind of take a look at the models. It's a little bit of a less exciting type of video, but either way, let's first have a look at the GFS model. Potential Laura here inside the United States, like I was saying, coming off the coast here. Potential Marco here, and then potential Nana here, also in the main development region. So let's have a look. First off, you can see here Laura forms, or Tropical Depression 12, or is it 13? Is it 12 or 13? I don't know. Forms off the coast here, so that's that. Secondly, the GFS does form Marco here. Here's Marco in the main development region. So already 2 storms. So that's that. And then thirdly, this is what some models would form as Nana here. National Hurricanes GFS doesn't necessarily form it, but it's what would be technically classified here as Nana. So that's that, and you can see those 3 areas continuing their way. And those are the 3 areas we're looking at for potential development in the tropics. So this is the GFS, does form the 3 of them, kinda. Doesn't really form Nana that much, but it does form Laura and what is the second one? Marco, fairly well. Here's a quick look at the European model there. European model does go ahead, it looks like, and does form, once again, the three of them, Laura being up there, Marco being down there, and Nana being down there. So I think it's called Nana, I don't know. So it does form the three of them once again. Let's have a look at how strong they do put it at. Well, they don't show them necessarily, but they do show, again, like the GFS, they do show the one currently coming off the coast of Africa developing a lot more than the one that's not really able to be seen right now. So right now, it looks like Marco and Laura has a pretty high chance with both the European and the GFS showing those systems developing. Now the CMC here, it's the most interesting one with those systems. So CMC, it goes ahead and form this system here, which would be Marco, forms Laura up there. It already moved into Nova Scotia. I think that's what it's called up there. So that it does form that, and then second, it forms this here. This guy, hold up, this guy right here. Now this guy here, he comes from a dry wave in the main development region, which is where it's currently at. So two of them, two tropical storms. Notice, both of them here, both around 998 millibars, so strong tropical storm. Notice 992 millibars off the coast of Florida. There could be a hurricane. This one also a hurricane. I mean, I'm not giving it any ideas. Then 991, 992 landfall on the west coast of Florida. This model actually is the one that develops both of them the most, and CMC has been pretty reliable this year. So right now you can see this one crosses over, right? Could be Nana, could be Marco, okay? Second one, 988 millibars. Okay, 988 millibars coming in the Bahamas. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just one model, one run of the models out of a lot of models. But either way, it's heading towards the Bahamas. What does that mean? It's heading towards Florida. So either way, we're going to have to pay close attention. But if this particular scenario were to happen, that would mean 2 Category 1 landfalls in Florida in like a couple of days difference. We get pretty much here, if this model were to be right, we get Laura here, right? Then we get Marco here, coming off here, right? And then we get Nana. I don't know if I pronounced it right here. So that's a lot. And then my predictions for this one, either it moves off the coast a little bit like Isaias did, either it goes in the Gulf, or it kind of unlikely, but it does something like this, right? But either way, it's very likely it would go on and impact Florida. So we're really gonna have to pay close attention. But that's 988 near the Bahamas. It's still, if that was to be true, it would still have all those warm waters. It could have the strength to become a Category 2, Category 3 hurricane with this particular system. So if that was to happen, so take a picture. This is what hour is this? Hour 240. This is the CMC. Here's the GFS at that hour. Doesn't show anything, right? Here's the European at that hour. Does not show anything. But the 3 models, even though they don't show it surviving, the 3 models form this guy here. The 3 of them form it, but then dissipated in the main development region. But the 3 of them form it, and the 3 of them form Nana around here, briefly. So again, the 3 of them form Laura, Nana, and Marco, but the CMC is the only one showing Marco and Nana really strengthening and heading towards the U.S. But they all show it forming. Keep that in mind. Let's have a look at the NavGem at hour 240 here. Does it go? No, so this is NavGem hour 180. So it actually does not go to that point. But let's check if it actually forms it. So let's look right now. Hour 0. We get... So it does form it maybe into tropical depression, but it does then dissipate it. So Navdem went ahead and said, nope, none of them's going to form. Okay, fair enough. Icon. What is Icon doing with those? So Icon's like, all right, Kyle, right? Then let's see here. Icon hasn't fully rendered out, but they do form Laura. They form Laura and Marco, it looks like. Or, yeah, they form Laura. They form Marco here. So they kind of form it, but we don't know yet. It actually forms a third Kyle, believe it or not. It actually maybe forms Marco also of the East Coast. Look at that. That would be interesting. Wait, hold up. Would that make it 4? Wait a minute. Oh my, it forms 4 Kyles, believe it or not. Wait, does it? This is interesting. 1 Kyle. 2, okay, from 3 Kyle. All right. So right now, most models, the major models do show it developing fairly. But also, our 192, here's look at the high pressures. Not much there. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. They have a high chance of developing. Here's the WW3, our 180. So at our 180, they went ahead and we'll have, remember what the GFS and the CMC, it shows it going north of those islands. So it does show it some kind of system here north of the islands. So again, not all of them necessarily develop it, but the CMC does really develop it, and I could see what the CMC is trying to say. I could see it happen, So right now, if I were to, do things, I would give this here 50% for the second Kyle. I would give it 30% for Laura here, and I'll get a 10% for Marco. Or not Marco, for Nana here. So this is what I would go ahead and mark it here. But I do see the National Hurricane Center marking those 2 areas very, very, very soon here, the one near Kyle and the one near Josephine. I do see them marking that in the coming days, actually. Or not even in the coming days, coming hours. Now, 240 hours to days, just to give it a perspective. That's 1 week, guys. So in 10 days, we could be seeing two Cat 1s heading for Florida. But the CMC, because the CMC is the one that really forming this, the CMC shows all of the systems forming. They show those systems, both of them, forming around, they both form around hour 96. So hour 96 in 4 days' time. All right, 4 days, and it forms every single system forms the one in 42 hours. 2 days, the one behind Kyle. So we could see Laura in 2 days, and we could see Marco and Nana in 4 days' time. That would mean 3 systems in 5-day time. All right, imagine we get Laura, Marco, and Nana in the next 4 days. It's possible. It could happen. That's absolutely insane. Also, while we're at it, here's a look at the high pressure. Why this could be a threat to Florida. When this is here, this is the CMC, by the way. High pressure right here, right? High pressure right around here, right? So, what happens? This moves that way, right? The high pressure is pushing it. Let's go. Okay. Well, the high pressure it doesn't necessarily dissipate, but it does get weaker. But it's interesting. So let's switch it to just really quick, 10-meter wind. Just looking at this a little bit. I mean, this is interesting. This is interesting, honestly. But again, I do see this happening. I do see the possibility. Look at that vortex here. Very, very strong center. Very strong center here. But again, I think that, I don't know if that's the rain. No, that's the wind probably. But I don't know why, but I see this happening. I do see this being a possibility. Here's a look at it again. Boom, I mean, it speaks what it speaks. Now, we don't really have a high pressure, so it would, this is the high pressure here. So if it were to go anywhere, it wouldn't go out to sea, but I think it would curve right off the east coast here, potentially. Um, but then again, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. And then we do get also this third system here. They move it really north, but there's a humongous amount of dry air up there. So we'll see if that ends up happening. I do see the potential for it, but the conditions are going to be right, really, so that the wind shear is going to have to go down if we want to get a 988 millibars in this area where we have right now 40 knots of wind shear. And same thing for this one if we want to get a systems forming around here where we currently have 40 knots of wind shear. The conditions are going to be right. But either way, as always, the east coast of the United States has to be watching those